Hello and welcome. You are listening to Unbridled Mayo, and this is actually my very first live stream. In fact, not only is this my very first live stream that is going to be public after, this is actually a test. I'm now looking at something that I might be doing on a regular basis. The new vertical format from YouTube. Essentially, they're in competition with TikTok and they want their own type of thing with that. So, throughout this live stream and again on the replay, just like to have your thoughts on how it's going and if you like this new format. Anyone who wants to like the stream, you can do it by pressing onto the screen, and then it will give the option to like, and I believe to subscribe at the top of the screen. If whenever anyone's watching, you can comment if you are watching the replay. Just let me know if you can hear me okay, if I'm too loud, too quiet, etc, etc. Now, with that piece of housekeeping out of the way, there are a couple of things I'd like to talk about in regards to Hollywood. Now, usually this is the kind of stuff that's it's in my head. I'm usually just talking to myself, and there's a stream of consciousness going there. But I just wanted to relay all of this and see what everyone else thinks about it. Now, the thing is with the modern landscape of Hollywood, if you will, it's gone very wrong, hasn't it? There's a lot of pandering. Everything's all about tick boxes. What kind of people? What kind of skin color? What's your sexual identity, etc., etc., etc. And all of this, I feel, is just getting in the way of all the good stuff coming out. There just really isn't that much. Don't get me wrong, there are some blinders. I mean, we had the Barbenheimer experience this year. Sorry, I forgot what year I was in. It was last year. As well as, okay, we had John Wick 4, which it was just like a fighty movie. It's good and everything, but there's also movies like Sisu, who I believe it's taken about $6 million to make for about an hour and a half movie, which was pretty simple. Just a guy looking after gold and just literally trying to get from A to B without dying. And it was a massive success. I mean, when I say massive, I mean in the way that it was pulled off. It was a thoroughly enjoyable movie. It was a very basic concept, and I really don't think that movies like that really get the exposure that they really should be getting. Okay. Now, that said, I do believe that the tide is starting to turn within modern Hollywood. I say modern Hollywood because it isn't the same as it used to be. Anyone who doesn't go to see a movie about, say, black people, gay people, or anything like that, they're essentially labelled as islamphobes. And there seems to be this war that's been going on between the people who are making the movies and people who are watching the movies. And considering the people who are watching the movies should and actually do have all the power, I just cannot see the mentality of any of this going on. I just really can't. So I just want to speak about that for a moment. More specifically, the most latest example of the actors actually having a bit of common sense and, whatever PR firm they have working for them, or whatever mentality they have themselves. I think there are some people that are starting to slip through the cracks. We kind of saw it with a couple of comments that Emily Blunt made, in that she's getting so sick of this, the strong female character, and that's literally the only description that you have of the character. There isn't any redeeming qualities, there's no struggles or anything like that. It is just strong and more recently diverse female character, and people like Emily Blunt, and dare I say there are others who are yet to make themselves known. It's just everyone's just getting tired of it, and there's just too much corporation stuff that's getting in the way of actual art being created. Now, the most recent example of an actor just having zero fucks to give is Sydney Sweeney. And sorry, unfortunately, this is an impromptu stream, so I haven't really had the chance to put anything together. So you're just essentially going to hear me talk for a bit. So Sydney Sweeney, outside of the nice couple of assets that she has, and there is something I want to say about that in a moment. She has this kind of mentality of, look, I was part of a movie, I was hired as part of that movie, and it didn't do very well. In fact, it done very badly. It created a load of controversy, and I'm not really going to defend it because I was essentially hired to be an actor. I did my job. I acted. I was the adult pretender, and I got paid. I went home, and unfortunately, the piece of, let's say, content, and it is content, it isn't art, it isn't a movie, it's just content. She's took this stance that, look, I get it, it's not great, it's really bad, and that's how I'm going to approach it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to insult the intelligence of the viewers. I'm not going to preach. I'm not going to make the viewers enemy. I'm just going to say it's how it is, which is one of the things that led to the Saturday Night Live, the SNL monologue that she had, where essentially you are going to see me in ABC, but you're not going to see me in Adam Webb. Adam Webb? Madam Webb. Oh my god, I cannot believe I just made that mistake. But that said, this is an impromptu, and I'm doing this single-handedly by my lonesome. But yes, the fact that she's saying these kind of things in much the way, same kind of way that, oh my god, my brain's freezing on this. The Top Gun guy, someone in the chat, if anyone's there, actually, just let me know who the hell was that guy. Mission Impossible guy. No, not even coming to me. But anyway, his mentality is also, look, I'm going to be humble as hell. I'm going to thank the audience for watching the movie that I have produced for them. There was a comment that he made that I'm going to get the name later. Hang on. No, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to look this up. Literally, as soon as I see it, it's just going to hit me. Gun Maverick. And yep, Tom Cruise. Now, the thing is, one thing, Henry Cavill, very good. The one thing about Tom Cruise is he doesn't bring any of his Scientology, anything like that into his movies. He literally is like, I'm going to make this movie for the audience. I'm going to get it done. If it's great, then I'm here for all the goodness about it. If it's crap, then okay, the audience has spoken and I'm going to do it better next time. There's no politics involved. There's no anything about, let's say, his Scientology and stuff or anything. It's personal because as far as actually making that movie is concerned, it's got nothing to do with it. So when people kind of say, yeah, he saved Hollywood and that, I honestly don't think that would have been the case if he's going to be going through the whole narrative that the rest of these guys seem to have. Like, for example, I remember The Woman King. There was all like, if you don't like this movie, if you don't watch this movie, and this was said on the red carpet, by the way, if you don't watch or like this movie, then you're racist. And that is pretty much it. And who the hell is here to see that? Now, don't get me wrong, as much of a Black History type of thing it was, I personally didn't actually have a problem with that movie. I actually went to see it at the cinema. It was a kind of impromptu thing where my wife went to see it with her mother, and it was actually a half decent movie. It had issues here and there, but I really didn't think it was that bad compared to most of the things that we've been seeing. But then when there was on a red carpet and said, you're racist if you don't like it, it just turned me off. and I don't really have any faith in those makers to really treat the audience with any kind of respect. So when you get people like Sydney Sweeney come out the woodworks and you never really heard about them, the Madam Web thing is the first thing that I actually heard about Sydney Sweeney outside of actually, she was on at first with Feast, the Hot Ones show with Sean Evans having hot wings and stuff. And honestly, she seemed sweet enough. She seemed genuine. Um, but when I started hearing things about when she was coming out, that like, look, this is a bad movie. There was too many up aboves. There were too many people um, in a hierarchy that was just trying to get in the way of this movie. It was too corporate. If you want to try and make a movie, then it's got to be the artist and the people there that do it. It cannot be a corporate thing, which is the thing that is just happening with pretty much every movie that's coming out right now, because it's just all over check marks. There's no, and this is the big word of the day that I want to convey to everyone, there's no authenticity. And I don't mean authenticity in the fact that you're just being a genuine person. I mean not making movies just for movie's sake. And it's not movies anymore, and it's not TV shows anymore, and it's not art anymore. It's content, and I mean that in every sense of the word. It is a conveyor belt type of thing. So when I mean like that, and it's not just since woke Hollywood seemed to have started. It's been going all the way back since, I don't know, rom-coms, I guess, when you have when there seems to be a trend, when people are trying to catch a trend. If people kind of see rom-coms as being a really good thing at the moment, they're going to bring out 100 of them, and it just gets tired. Same thing with superhero movies. Yes, you can argue that the MCU, the Infinity Saga, essentially from Iron Man 1 all the way up to Endgame, that was pretty much lightning in a bottle. Did it have its problems? Yes. Did it have bad movies within the whole thing? Yes. I give you, I wasn't a big fan of Black Panther. It seemed too Lion Kingy for me, but it wasn't compared to what we've been having with the TV shows. It was actually really, really good. Obviously, there were problems with Captain Marvel where literally there was not one wrong thing about her. She could do everything. She could save the day, and she's essentially God. Now, unfortunately, since Endgame, that was a whole story thing, and they haven't really got a new story. There's nothing to bring you from one movie to another. It's all been like, okay, in the post-credit scene, this is the next movie that we want you to see, as opposed to give you a reason to see it. What I mean by that is, in the Infinity War saga, the Infinity Saga, you got Thanos every so often trying to pick up the stones. There was one piece to go to another, and it generally got people interested. It was a tease as opposed to this is what you're going to watch. And I'm more here for the teases because that's going to get me interested. When you see things like the Marvels and you get a post-credit scenes with the Beast, the Fraser guy, again, my brain's just not working. If anyone can tell me, oh my god, who played the Beast? Not the younger one, the older one in Fraser. Damn it. Nope, sorry. Completely gone. I'll probably get it later unless someone in the chat knows everything, by the way. Yes, so getting back to Claire Sweeney, she has that thing where she respects the audience, and if we could just have a little bit more of that in the future, I think Hollywood could actually be saved. Even if they had bad movies, if they took the message, if they took all the messaging out of it, the whole with the Barbie thing, man bad, don't watch, if you don't watch it, you're racist, and all that kind of stuff. If it's like, if it's not forcing things down your throat, if we just genuinely had bad movies, there's nothing that can help that. It's a natural progression of things. But if they took all the ego out of it, let's say, the good movies that actually come out, people will actually see them because they're not having people being shoved things down their throats all the time. I myself have actually stopped going to the movie because I can't, in any good kind of conscience, go to the movies and spend my hard earned money and have it be a bad experience and have all these messages in it. I just can't trust it. Okay, there's a whole thing with people talking in the movies, popcorn, young kids, and all that kind of stuff. But outside of that, who wants to go to actually spend their money, waste it for something that they weren't even enjoying? It's just not okay anymore. And people are starting to see that. Now, with again Sydney Sweeney, it isn't just the whole mentality of her. It's also the case of, yes, she's a really good looking girl. She has a really good pair of assets, as I said before, if you know what I mean. And that's the kind of thing that, I'm sorry, I don't want to be called sexist and istophobe, whatever. She has a good, nice pair of knockers, and it should be celebrated. Nicholas Hoult played. No, I'm not talking about the kid. I'm talking about the guy who played Fraser is like 100 by now. Kelsey Grammer. That's it. Kelsey Grammer. The scene at the end of the Marvels, it literally just was him, and they introduced new superhero binary, and honestly, I just didn't have enough cringe in my body to handle it. Yes, was I looking forward to new X-Men movie? Kind of, yes, if they pulled it off correctly, used the actual the uniforms, the costumes, and all that. Yes, I probably would have been interested in it, but the way they've just played it off and being an afterthought for the Marvels, I just can't subscribe to it. I just can't. Anyway, digressing from that, yeah, Sydney Sweeney, she plays on her not sexuality as in who she goes to bed with, sexuality, sensuality, whatever word you want to put with it. I can't think of it right now. In that she knows that she's hot. Well, I would hope so anyway. She knows that she has sex appeal. She is easy on the eye. She knows all, at least I hope she knows all this. And this is the kind of thing that's been missing in modern Hollywood. Is that with, like, especially like with computer games and stuff, why is it that women have to be ugly? Why is it they like wear no makeup or anything? Why is it they, if you want people to go to a cinema, you do the Lara Croft thing. You put Angelina Jolie in Lara Croft, and you pander, not pander, you attract the male audience in the movies that the male audience wants to see. Angelina Jolie in the first Lara Croft, not necessarily the second. In the first one, she was great. She was probably putting many things in the wank bank of many kids, but you know what I mean? There's just that sex appeal that's missing, and men, I haven't really come across this in real life, as in not watching YouTube or anything, but actually day to day, you don't really see it. But I'm just sick of made to feel guilty for looking at a woman. Really, I mean, obviously porn's a different thing, but just appreciating an attractive woman in a movie, what the hell is wrong with that? And at the same time, you have Thor Love and Thunder, when, okay, we're just going to strip him naked. Okay, not an eyelid battered. Different thing again if you put Sydney Sweeney, if you had Sydney Sweeney naked in a Marvel movie, an actual MCU, I'm not talking Sony Marvel, the whole world would fall apart. The sky would fall down. Like you get that whole thing in the IT crowd where the internet is broken. You get that kid in the corner that's like pulling the tissue paper apart. Whoever gets that reference, um, you know what I'm saying. I'm sure you do. If you know what I'm saying, just put a yes. If you agree with me, put a yes in the chat. If you don't agree with me, tell me why. Because I don't see how any kind of any kind of normal human being could really sounds worth it, to be honest. Yeah. Um, yeah, pretty much. But anyway, this has also led on to new projects coming out that isn't modern Hollywood, and I'm not just talking Godzilla plus one, One Piece, which by the way were just amazing, absolutely amazing. Now, not to give any spoilers about Godzilla minus one, but it really does play towards the old school Godzilla that was like decades and decades and decades ago, where you could obviously see that it's someone who is just in a Godzilla outfit. Um, like slow moving, obviously destroying everything in sight. That like Godzilla isn't the hero of the movie. Godzilla is the thing to be feared, and they made it more of a interpersonal like character piece of the people, and there was an absolute amazing arc. I actually felt things. I haven't felt things in ages in a movie, and that movie for what? 60 80 million, what was it, and they produced an absolute banger like that, to the point that they actually brought out another version of it that is black and white. And I'm not just talking they played the same movie twice and just put the second version of it in black and white. I mean, they actually made it feel that it was made back in the day of the original movie. Obviously the effects were still good, but it made you feel that you was watching an old school, old style film. And I'm all here for that, because you don't get enough of those experiments anymore. And isn't it weird that you get all these type of really good movies from abroad? When I say abroad, I mean foreign to America, like Korea, China, Japan, like Europe, like everywhere else. But America seems to know how to make a movie these days. And again, things like Sisu, you wouldn't get that in mainstream media. So it's also starting to go towards the indie film, where they don't really have any of these constraints of the DEI and check boxes and stuff. I mean, if you really want to pander that type of thing, you know, like you can. That's the whole point of being indie. It's doing what you're actually able wanting to do. But outside of that, um, what's the point of Hollywood? What is the actual point of Hollywood? If someone can answer me that question, I'd be golden. It really is just a case of the modern celebrity doesn't exist anymore. You don't go to watch a movie because that specific actor is in it. There are, I don't know whether this would fall into that kind of category, but when you get like, okay, um, John Wick. Now, there is the argument there that you go to see it because of John Wick, but you also see it because you kind of trust Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is kind of like also Hugh Jackman, in the kind of way that they're good people. Obviously, I don't know if anyone who's watching this knows the story of Keanu Reeves, but let's just say he's had a tough life. He's had a lot of death. He's had a lot of loss. I mean, on my worst day is probably the best day of Keanu Reeves' life type of thing. He's had it hard. If you ever just want to find out, go to Wikipedia. I'm not going to go through all that, but essentially, regardless of having lost like family and everything else, is one of these where you don't become angry, you just become kind, because it's like you don't really want to see anyone else suffer the way that you do, so you're just nicer people. One of the reasons why on the Matrix set he give all of the crew, like motorbikes, that who could actually ride them, motorbikes and stuff. Like, he's one of these nice guys. So when I see a Keanu Reeves movie come out, regardless of whether it's John Wick or not, I'll think, okay, at the very least, check out the trailer. With Snow White, it's something that, okay, Snow White is actually the next thing I wanted to bring up as a separate subject, because I think what something media, Daily Wire. Daily Wire have decided to bring out their own Snow White pretty much at the same time that Disney are going to. And they are very interested. I'm actually really interested to see what kind of reception they're going to get, because they have pretty much come out, and Ben Shapiro says they want it to be the non-woke, absolute polar opposite to the Disney one. Literally none of the messaging and anything like that. And the actress that they got to do it actually looks like she can play Snow White. You know why? And I know this is like the dirty little secret, she's actually white. Who thunk it? Who would have thunk it? Someone who's actually Caucasian can play Snow White. It's amazing. And you know what? It's actually probably going to do better than the Disney movie. Now, you know, if it weren't, and I said this earlier in the stream, if it weren't the case, okay, I want anyone who's listening right now to tell me that if Rachel Zegler hadn't like brought all this stuff out, like it's not really a dance or distress movie, it's not a love story, the other guy's probably not going to get any lines, etc., etc. If everything hadn't gone that way, would you be interested to see this movie? I mean, would you actually genuinely would want to see this movie? I would probably say yeah, or at the very least, not necessarily like, oh my god, this is going to be the best thing, I can't believe they're doing Snow White, etc., etc. I mean, at the very least, would it get you curious to actually see the trailer for it? At the very least, I would hedge a bet that you probably would, if it weren't for all this crap. That said, The Little Mermaid, yeah, you probably say that people probably wouldn't be interested in that either, because the actress who played Ariel, yeah, there was a whole black thing going on, which is the thing that we're focusing on. But if you think about it, she wasn't really doing anything wrong, the actress. She didn't like do any of this like preaching, or if you hate it, you're racist, blah blah blah. She was actually keeping out of the discussion, which you have to respect. She essentially made the movie, she shut up, and she let people make their own minds about it. And she wasn't she wasn't, she doesn't have an ego to show. She wasn't hurt or anything about it. She's just like, oh yeah, that didn't work out, and that's about it, which again is a normal reaction to have. So yeah, I'm really interested to actually see the Daily Wire, and it's actually probably, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, it's probably going to make me go see the actual Rachel Zegler Snow White, just to see the comparison. I know it's going to be a night and day comparison, but I just got to see it. I don't want to. I'm not a masochist by any means, but if it means that I can actually comment on the fact that, like, this is how it is, in fact, I might actually do a video that, sorry, brain freeze. I might actually do an actual video that compares both, not necessarily scene by scene, but the bigger scenes, just to see what everyone's thoughts are about it. But yeah, Ben Shapiro with the Daily Wire, they pretty much he made a statement. I actually think it was part of the conversation that he had with the Critical Drinker. Please go check that out. All you need to do is look up Ben Shapiro slash critical drinker. I think it's like somewhere between half an hour to an hour of the interview, but it's like one of these things that you'd have probably never seen in the past. It's all like go on these like chat shows and stuff that you get anywhere near this conversation, and it's one of the things, that's going to bring around a turning point where people are just done with Hollywood. I believe, not necessarily specific to YouTube, but the content creator slash influencer is going to be, and it's happening already, by the way, because you get people like the critical drinker. Those are the people who people are going to say, yeah, that's a celebrity. Because how many people follow Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, Heel versus Babyface as, and all the rest of them on Friday Night Tights? Assuming you know who those guys are. How many people ache to go to these meetups they have, and they don't even charge people? In fact, they provide food and everything. They just want people to show up as a thank you, where you get people who just to have your photo taken with them at these Comic Cons, you're paying, how much was it? I think it was a good couple of $100 that I would have paid to see, I don't know, even though I wouldn't want to, Captain Marvel woman. Why is my brain not working today? Sorry, guys. As I said, this is an impromptu thing, so I've not really put anything together. Otherwise, there'll be things on screen and everything. By the way, I did actually. Actually, I'm going to bring something up on screen now just to see how it looks. Let's see. Snow White Daily Wire. And it didn't type anything. Alright, Snow White Daily Wire. And take the H out because for some reason I can't type today either. The reason I'm doing this is I just want to see how it actually comes up on the stream, and I want to see if you guys can actually make out the images or anything. Just as a test. Bear with me. I just need to bring this up. No, can't do it on that one. Control S. Should not have done that. Sorry. Let's see. Present. Share screen. Snow White Daily Wire. Here we go. Let me know. I'm going to go back to StreamYard. Can you guys make that out? Just give me a Y for a yes or an N for no, whoever's watching. I just want to see if you can actually make out the images on there. I'm actually going to go back to it. Let's see. How about if I enlarge this? Okay, thanks. When you say why, and this is another question I need to ask, can you actually make it out in good detail, or is it just like you really having to squint? I'm going to bring, actually, there you go. That's probably better for you guys. I'm going to see what's showing up on my screen. No. Oh, that's why. It's because it's different. Hold on. Let me fix this. This is why this is a test. So I'm going to go back to there. Okay, stop screen. I've got to do another one. You can tell this is my first time, can't you? Just talk amongst yourselves. Okay, so share screen again. I'm going to bring it. There you go. And share. Let's see how big that is. Giggity. Yeah, so obviously that's going to be a lot better on the screen because it's one picture that's filling it up. I'm actually watching this on my mobile phone as well, just to see how good it is. Now, okay, I think this says everything. You're obviously going to make a lot more money showing a white Snow White who's actually white, as opposed to someone who isn't actually white. Might be wearing the actual costume that's in the original thing, but who really cares about that? It's a white, and I'm so sick. Did anyone see Doctor Who where they race swapped Isaac Newton to someone who's, I believe, Mexican? Um, just nuts. So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing this movie. Let's see. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to separate this from the main thing. Let's see. Okay, that didn't interrupt it. So I just brought it into a new window and that hasn't done anything to it. So I'm going to start scrolling and see if that works. There you go. Um, there you go. Actually, I'm going to read this out for you because you probably can't see it very well. Actually, give me a yes, a Y again, if you can actually read that. Or would you need the person like myself to be able to read it out to you? Otherwise, you can't read it. Actually, put a yes, not just a Y, so I know you're talking about that last question. Just give me a yes there. But I'm actually going to read through this anyway a little bit and just kind of comment on it. And I just want to know, out of anyone watching, if you're watching on a replay as well, what are your thoughts on this type of thing? Seems fine to me. Okay, brilliant. Thank you for that. So bear with me a sec. American conservative news website and media company The Daily Wire has announced plans for its own Snow White movie and released a teaser trailer. The Snow White and the Evil Queen teaser features Brett Cooper as the titular character who hosts a comment section with Brett Cooper YouTube channel that has 3.57 million subscribers. Sorry. Yeah, so I don't know what what kind of things she's done. I haven't even seen her on IMDb yet. Again, I've only just looked this stuff up right now, but yeah, as you can see, it's like, oh, that's really good. It actually looks like something from Lord of the Rings. This poster. What is Daily Wire Snow White and Evil Queen about? Now, without reading this, I'm going to guess it's probably actually about the original Snow White story. Let's find out. So, credit to the Daily Wire, they created their own version of the movie as an original Brothers Grimm story published in 1812. It's now the public domain. Amid a tumultuous, I can't pronounce things, time for Disney, with its live-action Snow White star Rachel Zegler publicly disparaging the classic story, contributing to already plummeting favourably ratings for the once iconic company, the Daily Wire announced Monday it would take its own live-action adaptation of the Brothers Grimm fairy tale, states the announcements. The film, which is set to be released in 2024, and by the way, anyone who doesn't know, it's supposed to be in the fall of this year, so you're probably going to get it around September, will be the first feature-length production of its newly launched kids entertainment platform. And there's the key word there, kids. All this stuff is supposed to be kids' story. Yes, adults are obviously more than welcome to go see it, but this is supposed to be a family movie. Not something that you're supposed to be talking about your race or anything like that. This is a family movie, right? So, yeah, kids entertainment platform, Benkley, which is star, the Daily Wire's only superstar host of the comment section, Brett Cooper. Let's see what else they have to say. A kids entertainment streaming service that includes original called Bent Key Adventures, the licensed content, licensed content and characters and families who love and presents can trust. Again, there's the other word that Hollywood doesn't seem to know the meaning of, and that is trust. Sorry, I just saw a comment come up there. Let's see. Yes, so what essentially I'm trying to get at here, it isn't necessarily, I'm actually going to get rid of this because I'm kind of done, unless anyone wants me to read any further. I'm just going to bring a comment up on here. Let's see if that works. Why does that not work? Is it because, oh, here we go, yeah. Okay. Arguably, if Rachel Zegler had approached this in a good faith and told everyone how much she admired the first Snow White film, then more people would probably have given the film a shot. Yeah, I agree. Again, I I don't even want to see the trailer. Literally, the only reason I'd want to see it is because I'm probably going to review it. And again, if the Daily Wire version hadn't come out, I probably wouldn't watch it then because I obviously want to do a take on that. It's really, so I'm trying to get to the other screen again. Instead of telling stories about timeless, instead of telling, I can't even talk today. Let's see. Oh, okay, that's just another screen for that. So I'm just looking at all these different features on the new screen. It's slightly confusing. I'm just trying to do my best with that. So if I have to stop every so often, I do apologize with that. So yeah, instead of telling stories about timeless truth, what the ancient fairy tales were all about, Disney's new Snow White is an apology for the past. And will expose children to the popular and destructive lies of the current moment. And the Daily Wire co-founder Jeremy Boring, um, it's a story about a princess and a prince, about beauty and vanity, about love and its power um, to raise us from the death to life. It's our own adaptation of an ancient fairy tale, and that's exactly what it should be. I was raised on the original Grimm's fairy tales, and I was thrilled that we're bringing this iconic story to life for the next generation. Anything else? Yeah. Hang on, where's the quotation marks? There aren't any. They made a mistake there. Snow White is such a beautiful character, and I'm honoured to be able to be playing her. All of the best all of the best fairy tales. This is the story with timeless values like love, friendship, and kindness, and I can't wait to share them. Now, this is the kind of thing that, as the actor, I'm going to stop sharing that now. This is the kind of thing where that is a normal response. I don't know what I'm going to take that up to. I don't know if Hollywood had ever caught that, but that is an actual, proper, normal person's response. None of this, oh my god, this is so good because there's so much diversity in it. There's like little people playing all these like dwarves, and in fact, they're not dwarves, they're just magical people. Like, let's just forget about the fact that, like, none of that. It's how it's supposed to be. Um, Anyone have any other comments on that? Because I just can't be the apart from J-H. Thank you for that. I just, why is it so difficult for Hollywood to kind of get the idea of, if you please your audience, not pander to them, if you make some kind of attempt to please your audience, if you're humble, if you say essentially thank you for watching, this is for you, I really hope you enjoy it, like Tom Cruise has said, what is so difficult to understand about that? The comments about saving Hollywood, what if people had just been doing the same things as like Tom Cruise and um Sydney Sweeney, like they've been doing all this time, we would not have a problem. Even if the movie itself was woke, people would still go to see it just out of curiosity because everyone around it is being nice. None of this backstabbing crap. It's just not going to work. So yeah, when you get stuff like that, you're obviously going to have people like Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, people like that who's going to build an audience on, look, people are getting pissed off. They're going to say all the relatable crap, and that's another word that Hollywood doesn't seem to grasp these days, is that they can't make anything that's relatable to anyone. Every single woman, every single race, they have to be girl boss, any kind of boss. Nothing bad can happen to them. They can be the best anyone has ever been at anything. They're literally gods in their own movies. And even with these franchises like Star Trek, Star Wars, they're kicking all the rest of them out to put in their gods. And that's what they are to them. They're gods. So, yeah, anyway, so the point I was about to go on to there is, so you get people like Nedrotic, Critical Drinker with Gary's coming up to 1 million subs. The Drinker is pretty much almost at 2 million subs now. And how did they do that? They spoke truth. If you're going to say something along the lines of, I can't stand it, the fact that what is in this movie, all there is check marks, and you say that to the audience who agrees with them, then yeah, you're going to get people subscribe because you're going to get like-minded people agree with your work. If they're going to say things like, oh yeah, that was a great movie because the Eternals, they literally saved lives and actually said it in a way that wasn't sarcastic, and you kind of think they actually believe that, they wouldn't get one. Well, they probably would get a few subscribers because of bots and people in Hollywood and stuff like that, and have doors open for them in Hollywood. But what would that really do? They'd essentially be selling their soul to people that they don't like. Look at Chris Stuckman. Honestly, go look at Chris Stuckman. He's gone for someone who, and I had to really go back on his videos, by the way. He was doing things like breaking DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff in his back garden because he hated the movie. And ever since Chris Stuckman went back to, not really saying anything at all. Essentially, his reviews consist of listing the people who made them, commenting the fact that he likes the movie experience, not the actual movie, but the movie experience. I love that he loves going to movies. And then he probably says, oh yeah, that had some stuff happen in it. Like I suppose like a 30-second thing. And then that's it. I hope you get recognized. And what the hell is the point of that? You want actual conversation of people who not only talk truth, but people who, I mean, when you watch Gary for Nerdrotic, as from Heel versus Babyface, when you watch The Critical Drinker, you kind of think, yeah, that's the kind of guy who would actually want to go out and have a few drinks with. Drinker, by the way. Yeah, so they talk to you like they're actually talking to you. And when you see something like Open Bar, EFAP, Friday Night Tights, it's actually a good conversation who's someone that you can actually believe that they're friends. Uh, Obviously, with EFAP, it's more of a case of there's just the three of them. They invite people on, most of the time, but there's obviously they're more colleagues type of thing as opposed to friends. But the three, the Mauler, Rags, hi Rags, by the way, Rags, and you get Fringy. Obviously, they have this thing like you're getting Top Gear and what you call it, the Grand Tour, where it is just three guys just messing around. I I love that. Hang on, I've got to show it. Uh, there you go. I don't think my liver is developed enough to go drinking with a drinker. Yeah, I think about 5 minutes with him and I'd be in hospital already. I actually, digressing slightly, so J hyphen H, say, blah, 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 J hyphen H. Have you ever heard of, there's a whiskey called Screwball? It's um, it's a peanut butter one that's in the States. Unless it's a flavored one, I can't drink it just straight, and things like that. And Apple JD, I can just knock back and knock back. I just wanted to know your thoughts on that. What kind of drinker are you? If you were to go out with a drinker and potentially not survive the night. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you could easily go out, have a nice general norm, and it doesn't even have to be about movies. You can just, those are the people who you relate to. You can just have a normal conversation with them, and that's it. That is literally it. And the fact that they're talking about all this woke stuff, the movies, and put a chick in it and make it lame and gay. Talking about all that stuff, that is secondary. Like Top Gear, that Jeremy Clarkson and the rest. Well, it's the Grand Tour now. If I were to meet them, I don't know anything about cars, but I love watching the show because they're entertaining as hell, and they're essentially acting like belligerent idiots. Um, that's why I watched them. And I think that's the kind of thing of, yeah, look, we're really professional in starting like 5 million hours later than what we're supposed to be on for. Hi, Ronaldo. Sorry, Ronaldo. Why did I just call you Ronaldo? Sorry. I'm going to highlight my own mistake here. Sorry about that. Uh, Ronald Nadu. Hello there. Um, yeah. So where did I just drop off from there? Um, sorry. Yeah. Like, look, when you're doing an edited video and when you're doing a live stream, even though this again is supposed to be something that I'm experimenting with, it's a completely different animal. People who do live streams on their own essentially are a YouTube god um in my estimation, because if they can just go on, not repeat themselves, not go off in circles, not get flustered or anything like that, they are just god level entertainers as far as I'm concerned. Being able to, without script either, doing it off the cuff is it's just alien to me. I would, and by the way, um, what is this stream about? So essentially, I'm talking about what is wrong with modern Hollywood. I know it's something that everyone's talking about, like it's been talking about for the last 10 years now, but I feel that if the more and more and more people who come onto this type of streams and make these type of videos actually talk about it, then who knows, it might be some kind of dent. But the actual specific subject I was just hitting upon not long ago was Rachel Zegler and Snow White. But in contrast to that, you get Sydney Sweeney, who is essentially, I have absolutely no fucks to give. Like, okay, she's a hot piece. Wouldn't kick her out of bed, obviously, but she's like, oh yeah, this is a bad movie. I'm not really going to split any hairs about that. And she actually did come out and say that there was so much that's the word I was after earlier. There was so much executive interference, studio interference, that they essentially, it wasn't art. Um, my brain is not braining. Just letting. Yeah, adulting isn't something that should be a thing. In fact, I'm actually quite angry at the generation before us, not really kind of warning about this whole adulting thing. I think we should be given at the very least a heads up on it, because man, adulting is hard. But yeah, my brain isn't great too. I've actually not long woke up before the stream started, so I'm right there with you. But yeah, but the part of the point I was trying actually was making was, I can't understand. I still 13. Ah, okay. So just so you know, this isn't a child stream. I have sworn and probably sworn again. Um, yeah. Okay. So that's kind of stopped me in my tracks a little bit. Just to let me know, yeah, just to let you know, this isn't something that I'm going to be censoring anything for children, so just bear in mind of that. Um, yeah, sorry about that. No, it's not your fault. So, there is actually something on here that says it's not supposed to be for children as part of the settings. I don't know why that happened, but it's okay. It's okay. But what I would actually ask you, Ronald, is, do you like watching movies? It's fine. It's fine. Do you actually like watching movies these days that keep coming out now? Obviously, I guess if you have your parents, if you have parents, do anything that's coming out new, is it really difficult for you to find something that you like, or isn't it? Just out of curiosity. But if you've left, it's fine. It really is generally fine. But yeah, the point I was on just before that happened, again, this isn't a normal stream. This is just supposed to be a test. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish when it gets to the hour mark and see what happens there. Is that people are just sick to death of all this fakeness, all this tick box, and people. The biggest word of the day, I have to say, has got to be authenticity. I know it's got more than one or two syllables in it, Hollywood, but bear with us. There is something to it. Don't just make movies just for the sake of making content, because that's all it is. I mean, people say there aren't really that many good movies out. I agree, but there is a lot of content. Had the MCU gone into these Disney Plus shows with, at the very least, an interconnected story like the Infinity War, and by that I don't just mean just put something on the last episode that's going to say, oh yeah, we want you to see this. I mean, actually tease something and make an actual tease as, I'm actually interested in that, what could be going on there, as opposed to sludge. Like, the whole current TV show, movie, whatever, is more about the show that they're going to be bringing out as opposed to the piece of content they're actually on. And that's the kind of thing that needs to stop. All this DEI, all this stuff that is checkbox, and all of these executives and jobs that they made up that's bloating the amount of money, because that's essentially also one of the biggest problems. The movies have got so expensive that even if it's because of the bloat, even if it's not the actual story, it's not the developers, it's not the special effects guys, it's not any of that that's actually bloating these things. It's all these middle people, all these yes men, all the executives that are just in the way of making it an actual piece of art. That is the thing that's bloating all this. How much it takes to make a movie. If they just got rid of that, I mean, look again at Godzilla minus one. That was like $60 to $80 million, and look how much of a success with that is. It even got an Oscar. Unfortunately, it came in too late, so that it couldn't have been nominated for other things, because there were other things they could have put it as, and they just literally got the last one they could possibly bring it into. If they just brought it out earlier, yeah, sure, they would have got more Oscars. Not that Oscars really mean anything these days, but again, that's part of another conversation. Um, yeah, just stop bloating it in that way, and you'll find that your movies will cost less for a start, so you won't be losing as much money if you just took the risk, right? Uh, Let me just bring that comment up. I'm in the kind of phase right now where I'm not exactly very well known, so I can actually bring people's comments up that instead of it being a super chat or anything, despite me not being monetized yet. But that's fine. The problem is also that the suits that run the industry, they are fine with releasing billion-dollar flops because they get to write it off, and at the end of the year with their taxes. Yep, agreed. And I think if they weren't able to do that, it would hit hard. In fact, put all these people on minimum wage, like the normal person, see how fast things change. Just give them a normal rate, normal, like, I don't know, let's say, and I'm being very kind here, let's put them on 40,000 a year, something like that. And it's contingent on them bringing out actual good stuff that watches. As soon as it goes down, they get fired. Let's see how the landscape actually changes. And yeah, because it's all very well having all these activists and stuff, but they're not making good stuff. They're actually collapsing. And give it another year or two, these people who were wanting to make everyone else's franchise a platform for what they want to say, let's see how long they last. We're already starting to see it. Um, so it's actually coming up to an hour. Anyone who's live right now, and anyone who actually No, wait. Anyone put in the chat a subject matter that they want me to discuss with them. Because one of the things that I want to do here isn't necessarily just bring my opinion out. I want to bring everyone else's opinion out together. So if, say, one person brings a question out in the chat, then everyone can join in that. I obviously have the mic, but I don't want this to just be about me. So yeah, anyone in the chat wants me to bring up a certain subject, we can have a discussion on it, just let me know. But I just thought, because it's a very easy subject for everyone to discuss, this whole what's going on in Hollywood, I literally just randomly picked that out as the title of this one. It could have been anything, really. We could just talk about Star Trek, Star Wars. The one thing on my own channel that I'm doing right now is I'm bringing out a 3-hour minimum video, edited video, about Mauler, the Long Man. Um, Not in a hit piece like a lot of people have done. In fact, the whole point of it is to bring it out as a complete polar opposite to that. I want to be able to, yes, I will have criticisms in there, but it's supposed to be something that I want it to be a celebration. I want to bring out all the good stuff. And basically quell all the naysayers. And it's not necessarily just more that I'm going to be doing this for. There's a critical. Again, my mouth just isn't working today. I will be doing something similar for the critical drinker, Nerdvade, Heel versus Babyface. I wouldn't be doing it as a 3-hour thing. It'll be, the point of it is I'm trying to do it in this style. Of the person I'm reviewing. So the Long Man will be very, I'll be putting on the voice, a slight voice, making it a bit more charismatic. With the drinker review, I'll be doing, I'll probably having a few drinks before I even start, so actually might not make myself drunk, but in a way that he speaks in his videos, at the very least when he started his videos up, because the videos he does now aren't really too different from how he speaks during his live streams. And on Heel versus Babyface, I don't know if I can try and do an impression now, but it's like, hi, I'm Heel versus Babyface. So, hi, I'm Az from Heel versus Babyface, and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to do those reviews in the way that those people put them across, right? So I'm gonna try like making as many insults, as many witty comments as I can when I do the Gary one with Heel versus Babyface. I'll be speaking slowly as I just did. The critical drinker, I will be actually I'll be doing a kind of regaling, like a thing that happened, when I was like throwing up in the toilet or something at the start of the thing. One of my favorite videos that he did was the Doctor Who, the whatchamacallit child, where he pretty much said that the franchise is a teddy bear with a black dildo on the top of his head, and like, sorry, a black dildo as a head. So that kind of thing I'm going to try and introduce with that. So again, I'm trying to do it where it's in the style of the person I'm reviewing. I may do something on Little Platoon, I'm not 100% sure. But as far as the Mauler one, I am also going to do an honourable mention to Rags and Fringy, and also to Wolf as well, if anyone knows about him in the EFAP gang. Yeah. So I can see that no one's put anything for anything they want me to discuss here. So what I'm going to do, unless something comes in the last second, I'm going to call it a day. This is a test, just so everyone knows. There are going to be other landscape live streams that I'm going to have in the coming few weeks to discuss Mauler. And you're also going to be a guest on there if if you click a link on there, if you so will. If you have anything to say about Mauler, it can be positive or negative, but at the very least it needs to be constructive. I'm not just going to have anyone on there who's pretty much going to be like, here's a C word, here's a C word, here's a C word. Anyone like that's going to be cut off. But my point of it is that I'm going to be recording, it's going to be made into recording that I edit into the minimum of 3 hour, I was about to say movie, minimum 3 hour video of him. And it's going to be a banger. It really is. It's going to be one of these things. I'm hoping that, well, at the very first, it's going to be the best piece of work that I hopefully am ever going to, well, not ever, that I've created to date. But it's also going to be a homage. It's going to be a love letter for the YouTube critic, that it isn't just about hating stuff. There's lots of things that Mauler likes, and Critical Drinking everyone like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Picard season 3 was great, all that kind of stuff. So it's, I guess the closest thing you're going to probably get to describing it is a Mythbuster. But yeah, if you want to see that video, it's most likely going to be by the end of April that I'll be releasing it, because I don't have a team of people. I'm going to release it by myself. But yeah, if you want to see a 3-hour Mauler video about him, in that it's not a video that's slating him, subscribe to the channel and I'll get that out for you by the end of April. It's something that I'm taking my time on, and it's going to be magnificent. Now, I'm going to end this live stream in, hang on, you're following a situation with Sweet Baby Inc. and Gamergate 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yes, I did. Not too heavily. I've only really seen what the thing between Az and that other guy who's Bad Faith. I've seen what Nerdrotic and all the rest of them have said about it. Honestly, I feel that it was, it's something that was inevitable, to be honest. I can only imagine that it's going to start happening with the other parts of the entertainment industry, like singing, like live stuff, like, I don't know, Big Brother, or things like, it has happened to a slight point, but it's not like gross. Things like, oh my god, why AGT, American Got Talent, that kind of thing. We're definitely with like songs and things like that you just want to have on in the background. I can definitely see it, and I will use the word infecting that. But anything that Sweet Baby Inc. is coming to them, they deserve having happening to them, because it's too much. It really is too much, and it's one of the things that has prompted Az to absolutely lose it on his live stream when he was going on about pronouns. And I think what a lot of people have missed with that rant is that it isn't just the fact that he's just ranting about pronouns and current day and stuff like that. It's a fact that, and it isn't just that one instance, it's a fact that it's happened again and again and again, and it's infecting every single thing. Every single thing that you put on, it's like you want to choose your pronouns, blah, blah, blah. You can't watch a story without lesbianisms coming into it. You can't freaking have this without any kind of politics and being told how to think about a specific way. And it's just got to the point where, again, repeating myself here, you literally cannot turn anything on without having to deal with that stuff. You get me? So anything where they're calling the gaming community isn't-phobes or anything like that, any time where that kind of thing was uttered, not just for gaming, with movies, TV series and everything like that as well, if it's a case that the people making the thing are insulting the people watching and consuming the thing, that is the problem, and that is the biggest problem. Probably not the only problem, but the biggest. And until that gets sorted out, then nothing's going to change, nothing's going to happen, and it's just going to get worse and worse. And what will happen is it's not going to be Hollywood anymore that people will be tuning into. It's going to be people like the Critical Drinker, who's bringing out his own short movie, which I am all here for. Absolutely all here for. It's I believe it's only going to be like a 20-minute thing. I think because of some of the rules of YouTube, I think maybe, but I wish he had a feature length. If he had like an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'd be all there to listen to that. But yeah, Sweet Baby Inc. Again, it's just another example of hating their own audience. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. Again, another. I'm going to put this on screen again. Yeah, just another example of indies saving the day type of thing. Yeah, it's literally going. And by the way, it isn't just the case of indies making good stuff. It's also the accessibility. No one wants to go and pay $20, and that's before. I don't actually, I've not been for ages. I don't know whether it's still that, but no one wants to go to pay $20 to go see a movie that's going to preach to them. I would rather go on YouTube to watch a live stream or to watch a video or to watch some content where they're actually making good stuff that's going to keep me around for like half an hour or so. Because here's the thing, here's the big difference between going to see a movie at a cinema and watching something on YouTube. At the cinema, you've already got the hook of someone's paid. You've already given them money. You don't really want to waste the experience. You're there as essentially a captive audience. Can you walk out the cinema? Of course you can, but you've already paid the money, so you don't really want to do that unless it's really, really bad. The thing about YouTube is that you just literally click on a video in your own home, and if it's going to be bad, you just click off and that's it, and you haven't lost anything. You've not lost any money or anything. It's just an experience and that's it. If something's a really good thing, like for example the Critical Drinker thing that is going to be bringing out, that's obviously going to hold my attention just purely because I want to see how it turns out. But with all these indies on YouTube and platforms like YouTube, it's a lot easier to hold the audience, not to hold the audience, but they're trying harder to hold the audience, not make all this tick boxy stuff because they know it doesn't work, and they're actually making a good piece of content because they know if they don't, they won't get the watch hours, they won't get the clicks, they won't get the views, they won't get anything like that. So they have to make all of their content with the audience in mind. And there's this thing where if you can't keep anyone for more than 30 seconds on YouTube, then you probably just lost them. It's the kind of thing that I've been told again and again and again. And if they just kind of adopted the YouTube experience to movies, not in the fact that, hey, this is Unbridled Mayo here, blah, 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 not in that kind of way, but actually made something that would hold someone's goddamn attention in a movie as opposed to pushing them away, then we're golden. And I'm all here for that. I was about to say, anyway, that's all I got for today. Go away now, but I just realised I'm not the Critical Drinker. So, unless anyone has any other ideas about what to talk about, again, this was only supposed to be a test. Any live streams that I'm going to be doing in future, it will be prepped. There'll be things that I'd be putting on screen, subjects, bullet points, all that kind of stuff. So, all of this today, honestly, is just me rambling, and that's about it. So what I will do is, if you do want to see any of the edited stuff, if you want to see some actual praise, come to Mauler, the Critical Drinker, Hills vs. Babyface, Friday Night Tights, all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the channel because it's going to be coming, and when it does start coming, it's going to be coming thick and fast with other more positive projects in the pipeline. So with me saying that, I'm going to end this in the way that I end every single video that I have. because I just want to ask you another question. Would you like mayo with that?